Hello students, and welcome back to Hexxit Education. This is lesson number 20, and today we're going to be talking about Legend Gear. Now, this is not going to be a mod review for Legend Gear. We're not going to be talking about all the aspects of Legend Gear. We hope to cover all the aspects within our various lessons, but in this lesson we're talking specifically about the tools, weapons, and blocks that are unique to Legend Gear. These are basically all the different items that they're contributed to the mod, which are too unusual to be classified within their own within other lessons, specifically about other weapons or other blocks, for example, or other armor pieces. So we've got quite a bit to go through. I'm going to try and get through them with as little confusion as possible, although I'm sure I definitely will confuse you in the process. So let's start out with a little field trip. We're going to head southeast of our overworld campus to a little place I discovered a while back, and I'll take you right there. So be right back. And we're back. Okay, we are not too far from our overworld campus. It's over that way. We're southeast of it. And the reason I brought you over here is because this is a relatively rare site to find in the overworld. Most normally you find these in the nether. Because today, the first thing we're talking about is Legend Gear are these little guys. These are bomb flowers. And they grow exclusively right next to lava, or rather these spawn next to lava. You can notice this one over here is not actually touching the lava. They function along the same rules as reeds in that they need to be right next to lava in order to grow. These bomb flowers can be harvested to get yourself some of these. These are bombs. Now, the Legend Gear bombs are not the same as TNT in that, with the exception of cobblestone, they don't actually do any damage to blocks, and actually don't really do any damage to mobs either. What they do is move the mob. So if you imagine an explosion minus the shrapnel, so you simply get the propulsion. So if you set up a bomb underneath a mob, it flies up, doesn't take any damage from that, but when it falls down again, it still takes fall damage. That's the benefit of these bomb flowers. Now, the trickiest thing about bomb flowers is getting started with them, and there are a number of different ways, and I haven't written down here. Okay, so the first way which you get started with bomb flowers is to obtain in some way a bomb bag. Now this is a bomb bag that you might get dropped from a chest, or in this case I spawned this in through creative mode. But how you would manufacture this is to take a bomb and you would surround it with several pieces of leather. Let me just show you that. Okay, this thing was glitching out on me earlier too, but I can show you that the crafting recipe does in fact work. It's just not, for some reason, it's not showing up under any eye. It might be a coding issue or something, but let me just show you here. Take one bomb and some leather, and you have a bomb bag with one bomb already in it. Now the hard part, however, is getting the first bomb in the first place. And to get that, most notably you get them from chests. You can also get them from as a drop from energized mystical shrubs, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes. Another way to do it, which is actually the way I did it in my second map, which is to blow up a creeper. Meaning you have to, and what I did was I dug a hole, put some TNT in there attached to some redstone, got a creeper to follow me, fall into the hole, hit the switch for the TNT, and got him to blow up. That took I think I got it on my 5th try. I wouldn't recommend it. It's pretty difficult, but if you have no other option, you can definitely do it. But I did in fact get a couple of these bombs, and I was able to start making my bomb making facility. I should point out that you cannot replant bombs. Bomb flowers can be replanted with shears. Let me just grab a couple of these. So, okay, now I only have a couple here, so I'm hoping I'm not going to mess this up. But I'm just going to left click. Okay, and now I have a bomb flower. Now this can be replanted, like I said, right next to lava, and you got yourself a nice little place to grow bombs. Now, if you were to right click on this without shears or anything in your hands, you know what? Let me move this a little bit farther away, because these bomb flowers, oh, I got it, didn't burn. These bomb flowers can be quite volatile in a number of ways. One of which is that if you happen to get one blow up next to other ones, it will set off a chain reaction, and you'll have to let it regrow all the flowers. So I'm just going to right click on this and watch what happens. Sorry, left click. Okay, so you saw what happened. We still have the remaining harvested bomb flower. Didn't do any damage to the surrounding area. If I'd been closer, it would have sent me skyward, but not actually hurt me in that way. The lava might have hurt me, but not the bomb flower itself. The problem is that the only way to harvest a bomb flower is to already have a bomb bag, if that makes any sense. So you have to get a bomb in order to make a bomb bag. But how do you get that first bomb? Well, another way that you can do it is, as far as I understand it, just grab another one of these. Go over here, and I hope I'm going to do this right. I might mess this up. You take a water bucket and whoa, that's it. That did it. Okay, so I actually ruined all the 3 bomb flowers that were near me, but I did get, if you didn't see, I got 1 bomb out of that. So I would take that combined with this other bomb flower that's able to transplant, and use that to start my own little bomb flower farm. And like I said, this is relatively rare to find this in the overworld, but once you get into the nether, you'll probably find quite a few of them. And unfortunately, you cannot grow the bomb flowers. They don't reproduce multiple birds. You have to keep finding different ones, similar to the way the ore berries work. But I'm sure you can find quite a few of them. And believe me, once you get a fully functioning bomb flower farm, you really won't need that many in order to get quite a few together. So we're going to head back to our overworld campus, and I'll show you a couple more things about the bomb flower. Okay, and we're back on our overworld campus, and we are by our greenhouse. Now, to the best of my knowledge, I've actually never shown you this building before. So I'm going to go inside, and I've got just some glass through here. I think I showed you the glass when we talked about Tinker's Construct, and at the moment I have some foods in here that we're going to talk about when we get to our episode on plants and foods available in Hexxit. But right now I wanted to show you these. Now, I believe you can only grow bomb flowers on top of either netherrack or smooth cobblestone. I believe that's the way it works. The other materials don't work, and it must be directly in line with lava, as it is like this. So once you have this thing operational, all you have to do is take your bomb bag, and I always figure out how to do this, so I might be a little rusty. So you left click, then sorry about that. You left click twice. So let's try it again. Left click with the bomb in your hand. So one activates, one picks up, and you can see my inventory is increasing. And just go in this manner. And I would say I think the regrowth for these bomb flowers is maybe 10 minutes. Tops, 15 possibly, but it's a relatively quick time. And incidentally, the bomb bags, I should tell you, can only hold up to 50 bombs. So yeah, let's see, that one already regrew. So I believe it's an 8-second delay. It's a longer fuse delay than TNT. Okay, so now I have 17, and those will just regrow. Okay, sorry about that. I was looking halfway over my our campus trying to figure out where I left this. This is the materials for our lesson today. So what I want to show you is another item from Legend Gear, and also how it relates to the bomb bag. So what we have here is the Legend Gear Quiver. Now, Legend Gear Quiver, I believe it only holds 200 arrows. So you right click on it, and it will absorb the arrows that you have in your inventory, up to 200. So you have still got some left over there. So that's not bad. You carry more than 3 stacks in one stack item worth. But I am going to pick up a bow and show you what happens when you happen to have a full quiver and a full bomb bag. I should know that the quiver is similar to the similar to the bomb bag, but much easier to make because it's easier to find arrows than it is to find bombs. I'll show you here. Okay, sorry about that. The recipe for Legend Gear Quiver, which is apparently not working right now in the NEI in Hexxit, is you take one arrow and add 5 pieces of leather. There we go. Now, this is not to be confused with this, which is the quiver from Better Dungeons. This is, I think it's a little bit better because I think it holds more arrows because it has a slot. I'll show you. It has a slotted interface, so you can put multiple stacks in here instead of just one stack. But let me just get rid of this so it doesn't conflict. Well, one thing is very interesting when you happen to have a bag full of bomb flowers. Actually, let me try something here first before I remember. I gotta do this. So take a bomb bag. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we put a bomb bag into the crafting recipe table to remove the bombs if necessary. But I believe you can also. Nope, sorry. So if you happen to have bombs in your inventory and you want to put them into the bomb bag, you right-click to throw them and then left to pick them up. So right-click to throw, let's pick them up. So if you happen to have a few extra bomb bags, you want to put them into your bomb bag, that's how you do it. So getting back to what I was talking initially. You take an arrow, you have a quiver from Legend Gear, and you have a bomb bag. Shift, right-click. Watch this. Now, remember I said before that the bombs only affect cobblestone? So just imagine you're going along your way, just firing off at enemies left and right, using it in your quiver. And again, you do not have to have these equipped in your hotbar. All you have to do is shift right-click, and it will fire an arrow from your quiver. At the same time, it also fires a bomb from a bomb bag. Pretty cool. It's definitely one of the things that makes the Legend Gear Quiver superior to the one from Better Dungeons. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is right over here. You've probably seen this around campus. I just haven't particularly pointed them out to you. We're going to talk about the Mystic Shrubs. The Mystic Shrubs are incredibly useful in the early game because they are essentially, among other things, a renewable source of arrows. So I'm just going to left-click on all of these. And they drop, you see arrows, you see a heart, and you see some emerald shards. These are all Legend Gear items. You just pick them up. And this is pretty much what you're going to find in the early game. The hearts, these hearts, which not to be confused with heart canisters. Those are used to make the items we got for Tinker's Construct. What these do is immediately as you pick them up, they will replenish your health. Okay, it's pretty much all we're getting, but still, when you first start out, it's very useful to have a steady supply of arrows like that. Now, the unfortunate thing is that you cannot transplant these mystical shrubs. So watch what happens when I hold down. Yeah, it just is destroyed, and you cannot. If you try and use shears, you get the exact same effect. The only way you can selectively plant mystic shrubs is to get mystic seeds. Mystic seeds are incredibly rare in Hexxit. I've never seen them. But my understanding, though, if you happen to find one, which you probably be finding them in a chest, is you plant them and they make a pattern similar to this. So you plant one, and then it makes like a whole circular area around it. So very useful if you can find it. But again, I've never seen them. So if you happen to find one, post a video for it. We'll give you props for being one of the favored few to actually see the mystical shrubs. Okay, so next, what we just picked up before, the emerald shards. Now, this is part of Legend Gear, and what emerald shards do is they are pieces of an emerald. So what you do is you take an emerald shard when you have a couple in your hand. I think it takes 8. So yes, so just like that, makes a noise every time. You take 8 of them, and they form emerald pieces. And you take, I believe, 8 emerald pieces. Let me just grab these two. Right-click on those. And they make emeralds. and these drop off of every mob in Hexxit. It's just part of the code. So if you want an easy way to get emeralds for various reasons, including trading, including the modifiers from Tinker's Construct, just keep killing mobs, keep busting through mystical shrubs. You'll find quite a few of them. There's also something we noted called the energized mystic shrubs. Now these are very hard to find. Essentially what they are is similar to the energized creepers. So if it was raining and you had a thunderstorm, and if you happen to find a patch of a mystic shrub where lightning has struck it, they would be a different color. You saw it before. They're kind of like this color, kind of like a bluish. They turn lighter, almost like a yellowish. And what that does is it changes the loot table. See, it changes the loot table that you would get from them, from the normal one, which is mostly arrows and emerald shards, into a much more robust table. Unfortunately, I could not find a complete table online. It's still kind of tricky to figure out. But one of the things it does drop occasionally are bombs. So if you get lucky enough to find energized mystic shrubs, definitely break them and see what you can find. You can find clocks in there. You can find redstone. You can find some actual gear. But the main thing you want from that is the bomb, because that will help you to start off with your bomb bags and your bomb flower farms. So next thing we're going to talk about are the medallions, and there is important to note there are 4 medallions in Legend Gear. There are the Wind Medallion, Earth Medallion, Fire Medallion, and Ender Medallion. And I should take a point to this moment to point out that Legend Gear is based on Zelda. If you've played 1 or 2 Zelda games, you have a pretty good idea of what you're going to find in Legend Gear mods. You have medallions, you have amulets, you have, for example, Titan bands, whirlwind boots, wreaths, magic mirror, phoenix feathers. These are all familiar things. Boomerangs, all familiar things from the Zelda series. So first off, we have I'll talk about this first. We'll talk about the Earth Medallion. Now, I think the one I'm looking at here is fully charged. In order to make an Earth Medallion, you need just dirt, bricks, and gold nuggets. Pretty basic. What you'll get is this. You can see a little indicator bar at the bottom. What you need to do at that point is take fall damage. Just go off buildings, drop down, and take fall damage. And as you do that, your Earth Medallion will be charged. And once it's charged, you can do one of 2 things with it. You can actually throw it. Let me see if I can do this here. Whoa, did a fair amount of damage there. So not bad. It's basically like a hand grenade that you can throw. It's single use, similar to a splash potion, but kind of useful. But the main thing you're going to want to use it for is to create various items. First thing on it is the Titan band. Now the Titan band is I think it's used to relocate passive mobs. Only passive mobs. Because if you use it against hostile mobs and they take damage or they damage you, you'll immediately drop them. So let's go into. Did I put a paddock here? I think I did. Huh. Okay, let's go through our science building into our animal farm. Oh, sorry, not science building. Our biology lab. And okay, I got it in my hand. Right click. Oh, where'd he go? Oh, there he is. I'm moving a little bit slower, I think, but I can move mobs without damaging them. This is incredibly useful if you want to relocate villagers. Among other things, you see it takes a little bit of durability damage, but not too bad in general. Okay, so yeah, the guy happens to get in the wrong place. Oops. Oh, he just took damage from the ceiling. Okay, important safety tip. So that is the Titan band. It has to be in your inventory, and that is a chicken stuck in my soul crucible. Oh well. Another thing you can do with these medallions is what they call augments. And what you augment are sword. You can augment any kind of sword, but it's affected by normal durability rules. So I recommend you just grab a second one of these actually. Okay, so I have the Earth Medallion, dropping off a few of these spares. So I take a diamond sword. I believe I just do this. I couldn't find a crafting recipe for it, but you just take, yeah, an Earth Medallion and a diamond sword, put it in, diamond sword, augment Earth Medallion. And what this does is gives your sword an AoE knockback. So what I do, I take durability. Hold right click, let go right click, left click. Okay, so you have to do it quickly. Go directly from holding, hear the sound, left click. And it'll do it in a circle around you. So that's the earth augment. Next up, we're going to talk briefly about the Geo Amulet. And basically what this does is it negates fall damage. Now I'm actually curious about how much it actually negates, because I don't think it does quite as much as Cloud Boots. So we're going to go up to here. I'm going to eat some pork while I'm at it. I'm going to go all the way up to our meteor shield and see what happens. So I should just be able to have it negate. So I'm gonna first go down this little thing here. I don't think it will take much damage in any case. Hold and okay. So I'm just moving forward and holding. It's not doing anything. So what happens when I do this? Oh, it started to rain. But wow. Okay, so I didn't take fall damage from that, but it took a big chunk of durability out of this amulet. So I guess if you happen to, want to jump off a building or something, this could be useful. Okay, next up, we're going to talk about the fire medallion. And what this does, you can probably guess, similar to your medallion. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, so what it does is it creates a fire AoE of a single use again, just like before, and basically it just deals fire damage to all mobs in an area. Okay, next up we're going to talk about the sword augment for fire, and this is actually one of the cooler things in Legend Gear, because it allows you to, I believe this is blaze or gas. Let's see. Let's just shoot this. Huh. Oh, okay. Okay, so what it does is it fires blaze fireballs at living creatures around. It's doing 5 damage to a cow. So it's not too bad, but you can't target anywhere else. Oh, there it is. Okay, and it just caught until on fire. Oh, okay, but it didn't spread, and I have spread on. Maybe because it's raining. Okay, so right click and quickly left click. A little bit of fire here, and it does catch. Okay, so I just caught my wood on fire, so it does cause damage like that. Good to know. And it's okay. I'm just gonna. There you go. I'm on fire now. So cool. Okay, what seems to be working for me is double left clicking. I don't think it has to be that way, but it seems to be the best way to do it. Is double left click after holding right. Okay, so moving on, we have the headband of valor. And basically what this does is it increases your melee fighting damage. The downside of it, though, is you have to wear it unadorned. So it'd be your only piece of armor. You can't wear any other armor with it. So it's like, you know, monk fighting, sort of. And don't want to beat up any cows, but okay. So I just one-shotted a chicken with my bare hands. That's an indication of how much damage it deals. But again, the lot not being able to wear regular armor is a pretty heavy loss, and it does take durability damage every time you use it. So only 100 of the uses, not the best thing in the world, but not bad either. Okay, so next up is the Pyro Amulet. And what this does is actually kind of cool. I'm going to pick up that fire sword again, just to show you. Because when I do this, okay, so what I'm doing is I'm holding it down while I'm in the fire, and what it's doing is actually healing me with the fire damage, but it's also taking durability from the amulet itself. So pretty cool, but it took about a third of it down just from that one use. So yeah, not the most efficient thing, but if you're in the Nether, it's not a bad thing to carry around with you. Okay, next up are the Wind Medallion. Now this one I'm kind of curious about, so I'm gonna do it this way. Ah, okay. So what the Wind Medallion does is it shoots a volley of arrows in a small area. So it was from here to here, pretty much. So it's almost like a cone attack in a certain direction. And I should mention before, with the fire medallion, how you charge the medallion after you create it is by taking fire damage. How you charge the wind medallion after making it is by being hit with arrows. So you have to take quite a bit of arrow hits in order to charge it. You know, it is what it is. But one thing you can make with it, which I'm actually anxious to figure out to try out, are these. These are whirlwind boots, and apparently these have three abilities. The first one is reduce fall damage, and I'm not going to go up there. I'm just going to take my own word for it that it does work. The other one is increase sprint. So, ooh, that's nice. It's almost double speed. Another thing is water sprinting. This is pretty cool. One downside, though, is that you do lose durability. It's very decent durability, actually, but you do lose durability for every use of your special ability. So, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't give you the high jump that cloud boots do, but you know, fast sprint is pretty cool. So I guess if you have pretty wide open territory, it might be useful. But, pretty cool. Cool little thing. Okay, so next up is the sword augment for air for wind. And this is the thing I was trying to say before. So I'm going to put some items down here. Feathers. Now I believe what it should do is create a whirlwind. Okay, so I guess it doesn't work on items. But it's basically a directional push against mobs. I thought for some reason I thought it worked for items too, but nope, just apparently works for mobs. So next up is the arrow amulet. Oh, that was a bucket. That's a skeleton. Very cool. What it does is reflects arrows that are shot at you. So pretty useful little amulet there. Okay, next up is the Ender Medallion, and this one's a little unusual. I'm trying to think how I can. Oh, you know, I'm gonna do it over here. I'm probably gonna have to put this back in when I get a chance. But what the Ender Medallion does is it essentially creates a mass teleport area. So I'm gonna do it with my animals here. Okay, so what that did was it teleported all the mobs within a certain area all over the friggin' place. Got some up on the roof over here. I think I actually killed a couple of them. Yeah, and there's a cow over here. There's probably a couple on top of there. Yeah, definitely killed a few. I think it takes that from fall damage, but I'm not certain about that. So, interesting little grenade. Yeah, you happen to be into that thing. Okay, so next up is the Ender Augmented Sword. Let me show you that. I take an Ender Medallion and the sword. Oh, I should show you. Ender Medallion is made with an Ender Pearl and the bricks and gold, just like the other ones. Okay, and what the sword does is kind of tricky, and I'm probably not gonna be able to do this correctly, but apparently what it is it teleports. Okay, I'm doing this wrong. Okay, let's try this again. So, one over there and run. Okay. I'm gonna die. Okay, so my combat skills notwithstanding, what you're supposed to be able to do with a diamond sword, with an Ender Medallion Augmented Diamond Sword, is you teleport yourself to an enemy that you target. Say an enemy is a certain distance away. I believe it's something like eight blocks. You teleport yourself to the enemy, and if you right-click again, that is guard again, within 2.5 seconds, you can actually teleport back to where you were originally. So you can sort of, if you time it right, move forward, then move backwards in order to deal damage. Okay, next up, we have, if I can find it, here we go. Next up, we have the Magic Mirror. Magic Mirror is a very useful little device, and if I do it now, it doesn't sound like nothing to do anything. What it does is it teleports you to the last place where you had the mirror in your inventory and you saw daylight. So next up is the Phoenix Feather. And a Phoenix Feather is relatively simple, and no, I'm not going to demonstrate because I like my levels as they are. The Phoenix Feather is fairly expensive to craft. But what it does is, if you die, you instantly revive with half your health and like a 3-second invulnerability buff. So it's very useful against boss fights. In fact, I think we may employ this in a couple of future lessons. So very useful. I mean, I might find these in dungeon drops, but very expensive. Okay, next up is the reed pipes, and this is a pure fluff item. So okay. So I can do this right. Okay, basically I'm holding right click and I am facing a certain direction, and depending on the vertical axis that I'm looking at, or whether or not I'm holding on shift, it plays a musical note. As far as I can tell, it has no value other than pure musical appeal. So next up, we have the caltrops, and in general these are not very useful. I mean, as a defensive measure, I guess you can plant them around in places, or if you happen to see them in certain dungeons. But in general, watch. They take a little bit of a slowness and a slowness impairment, but it doesn't really do that much damage. See, I think it does 2 hearts apiece, but they're not too hard to craft, I don't think. Yeah, you just need some iron in order to make 4 of them. So if you want to use them as a defensive measure, be my guest, but they're not replaceable. They are consumed each time they're used, but they're in it, so see if you like them or not. Okay, next up, the magic boomerang. Okay, now this, a lot of people consider this the best weapon for hunting gas, because you throw it in a direction and it comes back to you. But another thing you can do is, I don't think you saw that, right this way. You can pick up items that are far away, and they come back to you as well. Now, I believe it only takes durability damage if it either hits a mob or grass. So I'm pretty sure if I do this, then it will take damage. And I think there are certain pathfinding rules where if it's... Yeah, see, it found its way through a building, but there are certain cases where it may not find its way to you, in which case it will drop as an item. But it's fairly expensive, but I have seen them drop from dungeon chests fairly often. See, diamond and gold. But again, in Hexxit, that's not really that expensive because these are common, and this stuff is not terribly useful for most other things. Oh, next up, we're going to talk about Stardust. And no, this is not the movie based on the book by Neil Gaiman. Okay, a couple episodes ago, I think we were over here, and we happened to hear a sound like a musical note, and then hear a crash. We came up to it, and we picked up this, a star piece. Now, if we hadn't been so quick, if we hadn't got there within 10 seconds, we would have found one or more of this, which is Stardust. And what these do is create a couple of sort of interesting items from Legend Gear. So Stardust is used to make, in this case, starbeam torches, which I'll get to in a moment, and also combined with either red or gray mushrooms to make magic powder. Star pieces, on the other hand, are used. You take 9 of them to make a star stone, and take a star stone with obsidian to make a skybeam block. Now, a skybeam block it's a little bit tricky, and to be honest, I haven't actually gotten it to work yet. But I understand the theory is this. Okay, this is a skybeam block. You put it down, and this is a redstone activated device. And you'll probably recognize. I do have some dirt. Nice. You'll probably recognize the sword pedestals from our melee weapons department. I use them all over the place. So what I believe is you put a sword pedestal within 2 blocks of a skybeam block. And what happens is that when you take a vanilla, at least it only works with a vanilla sword, put it inside the sword pedestal, it should activate the skybeam block. But it's not working in this case. I'm going to take sword pedestal, put it right above this. Golden, there we go. Alright. That's what I was doing wrong. It wasn't 2 blocks, it's right above the freaking thing. Okay, so this is a fully functioning skybeam block. Now, what this does, other than look very cool, if it actually functions similarly to the beacon in vanilla, except it doesn't give you buffs, but it does work whether or not there's sky above it or not. So if I were to put blocks above it, it would still go through. However, what it can do over time, and I don't know how slow, it's probably very slowly, is it will replenish the durability of the vanilla swords inside it. It's pretty cool. I mean, if you don't have anything better, which most times you will. But for the meantime, it's just a reminder of the Zelda game where this mod came from. Okay, so next thing I want to talk about, and okay, you have to forgive me because I've never actually played with this particular item before. These are starbeam torches, and what you do with these is you lay them in a line or in a line of sight within 6 blocks of within 6 blocks of each other. You shift, stand on top of the block which has one, shift, and then jump. And it propels you along the line. And as far as I can understand, it works best from like a high elevation to a low one. So let me just try this. So shift, jump. Oh, interesting. So I had too much velocity that way. So let's try this. Let's try shift, jump, let go, shift. Okay, so it was too much of a curve at this point, so it just dropped me off here. But you can imagine if you had like a tree, this is kind of like a zip line that way. And I believe it also works the other way around. So if I do this, yeah, not enough speed. It was too high of a thing. So shift, jump, and I can't get up that high. Shift, jump, hold shift. No, didn't work either that way either. So it mostly works when you're going down, but still, it's kind of like having a little zip line, or a monorail if you're feeling particularly lazy. And believe me, once you make one of these things, or you make some magic powder, the Stardust is not terribly useful, and I believe you can just take a star piece and turn it into Stardust to get more of it in order to make more of this as material. Okay, so last thing we're gonna talk about is what I just said. You take the Stardust and use it to make magic powder. Now this stuff is essentially transformation powder, and it has a number of effects, and I'm gonna list them below, but it's a little bit confusing. Basically, what it does for mobs, and this works for like neutral mobs like cows, or I'll try it on cows or chickens. And it also works for villagers, but not in quite the same way, I believe. So if I take a cow, take some magic powder, right click, baby cow, and I believe if I hit him again with it, regular cow, but he just got suffocation damage and died. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. And you can see it consumed 1 magic powder each use. So again, not terribly useful. Baby chicken. So if you wanted to fast grow your chickens, that's one way to do it. It puts pumpkin heads on zombies, or melon heads. Unfortunately, it can't toggle back to the non-melon form, but still. Oh, actually, that's a very important note there. Did you see what happened with that boomerang? You can use it to kill mobs, and it's actually fairly effective. However, it will not pick up XP orbs. It only picks up non-XP orb devices, and that is an infernal. Spider. Okay, this is a good time to reiterate the importance of keep inventory in Hexxit. Excuse me. Where did he go? See, I took damage from that because he has vengeance. a little too far away to see how much damage he's taking, but it's not enough yet. Oh, we got him. Okay, so important safety tip. Never go up against an infernal spider without armor. And you see there's webs all over the place. Kanakadia was slain by a spider. Yeah, thanks. And I got, a shield. We just did our episode on Asgard shields. So, where was I? Oh yes. I just showed you how we use the magic powder on zombies, or also works on zombie pigmen or skeletons. Another thing it can do is if you use it on creepers, it will turn them into charged creepers, similar to the way that the storm shot works with the hunter's handgun. Another thing it will do is it will turn cobblestone into, among other things, mossy cobblestone. Also, oh, here we go. So. See, mossy stone brick, cracked stone brick. Yeah, but it's kind of useful if you can't find a jungle temple, if you want that effect. Okay, we talked about that. Okay, now the last thing you can do, I think I have a couple around here. I'm just not certain if I do. I don't think I do. I used to have a pumpkin patch over here. But another thing you can do is similar to the way that the zombie's head changed from a pumpkin to a melon head. You can change a melon block and a pumpkin block into each other. So it could be useful if you have one and not the other. You just want an easy way of getting them early in the game. And the last thing it can do, which is not terribly useful because you can actually get these normally, is it can change sandstone into chiseled sandstone and smooth sandstone. So if you happen to want a quicker way of changing it, but you can just craft those in any case. So I'm very sorry that this lesson took longer than I thought it would, but again, these are all the sort of miscellaneous blocks from Legend Gear, and I want to try and get them all done in one section here. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. This has been Kanakadia for Hexxit Education. Class dismissed.